Welcome to IMG Helping Hands. Now let's talk about the actual rotation. This is where the magic happens, but it's not about forcing relationships. It's about showing up as your best self and letting your work and attitude speak for you. Here's how you can build genuine relationships during your rotation. Be proactive. Volunteer for tasks, ask thoughtful questions, show genuine interest in patient care. For example, if you're on rounds and the team is discussing a case of pneumonia, you could say, "Dr. Smith, I recently read about new guidelines for pneumonia management. Would you recommend starting antibiotics right away in this case?" It shows that you're engaged, curious, and eager to learn. 2. Be reliable. If you're asked to follow up on lab results or prepare a presentation, make sure you do it and do it well. Being reliable builds trust. Attendings and residents notice students who are consistent and dependable. 3. Be respectful to everyone. Networking isn't just about impressing attendings. Build relationships with residents, nurses, physician assistants, administrative staff. Why? Because you never know who will help you down the line. Plus, being kind and respectful to everyone speaks volumes about your character. All right, let's talk about something that can feel a little intimidating. One-on-one conversations. These are golden opportunities to network, but they require confidence and preparation. How to approach your attending or resident. Start with a genuine compliment or observation. "Dr. Patel, I really appreciated the way you explained that case during rounds. I learned so much." Follow up with a question or request. "Do you have any advice for someone applying for internal medicine residency? I'd love to hear your perspective." Ask for feedback. Feedback is one of the best ways to build a relationship. Midway through your rotation, approach your attending and say, "Dr. Jones, I'm trying to improve my clinical skills. Is there anything I could do better or focus on during the rest of this rotation?" This shows humility, self-awareness, and a desire to grow, all qualities attendings love to see. The rotation might end, but your networking doesn't stop there. Connect on LinkedIn. If appropriate, send a connection request on LinkedIn with a short, personalized message. Update them on your progress. Months later, you can send a quick update. "Hi, Dr. Smith. I wanted to share that I recently submitted my ERAS application for internal medicine. Thank you again for your mentorship during my rotation. It made a big impact." 5. The do's and don'ts of U.S. rotations. Now let's talk about the golden rules of excelling in your USCE. These are the do's and don'ts that can make or break your rotation. The do's. Be punctual. Always arrive on time, or even better, arrive early. Attendings notice punctuality, and it shows respect for their time. Take initiative. Offer to help with tasks like charting, presenting cases, or assisting with procedures. A proactive attitude goes a long way. Be a team player. Work well with residents, nurses, and other medical staff. Remember, you're being evaluated on how well you fit into the team. Ask thoughtful questions. When appropriate, ask questions that show you're engaged and eager to learn. For example, why was this antibiotic chosen over another? Be respectful. Treat patients, staff, and colleagues with kindness and respect at all times. Document carefully. If you're allowed to write in patient charts, ensure your documentation is thorough and accurate. Stay organized. Keep notes on patient cases and be prepared to present when asked. The don'ts: don't be late. This can't be overstated. Tardiness reflects poorly on your professionalism. Don't be overconfident. Never attempt procedures or give medical advice beyond your scope. Don't be a passive observer. Even in observerships, engage with the team. Take notes, ask questions, and show your enthusiasm. Don't disrespect boundaries. If a patient declines your involvement, always respect their wishes. Don't skip learning opportunities. Attend rounds, grand rounds, and lectures even if they're optional. I remember Dr. Patel, an attending I worked with, telling me, "The best students are those who don't just blend in. They actively contribute without overstepping boundaries." That's the balance you want to aim for. Letters of recommendation, LORs. In this episode, we're going to deep dive into letters of recommendation, LORs, arguably one of the most critical components of your residency application. If you're an IMG, International Medical Graduate, you've probably heard a lot of advice about LORs. From get 3 strong LORs to US-based LORs are mandatory. It can all sound overwhelming, especially when you're figuring out how to actually obtain them. Don't worry, in this session, I'll break it down for you step by step. By the end of this, you'll understand what makes a strong LOR, how to secure good LORs during U.S. clinical experience, USCE, what attendings and program directors look for in LORs, some real-life examples and tips from students, IMGs, and even program directors. Let's go. Grab a notepad because you'll want to jot these insights down. What is a letter of recommendation? A letter of recommendation is a professional endorsement written by an attending physician or mentor that vouches for your clinical skills, knowledge, work ethic, and interpersonal qualities. Essentially, it's someone saying, "This applicant is outstanding and I recommend them for residency training." For IMGs, LORs from US-based physicians hold immense value because they demonstrate your ability to work in the US healthcare system, your familiarity with US clinical standards, teamwork, and communication, a trusted physician's belief in your ability to succeed in residency. As one program director put it, a good LOR helps me see the applicant through the eyes of someone who's already trained here. That's powerful. 2. Why are US-based LORs so important? While LORs from your home country still have some value, US-based LORs hold more weight for a few reasons. Validation of your skills in the US. Setting. US attendings evaluate you within the same system you're applying to. Their endorsement carries more credibility. Residency culture fit. Residency programs want to know you can adapt to the fast-paced US environment. Benchmarking. US-trained physicians have a standard format and way of writing LORs that programs trust. For example, an IMG from Nigeria once told me, "My US attending's LOR made all the difference." He directly mentioned my teamwork, clinical reasoning, and ability to adjust to electronic health records. I think that gave me an edge. 3. Characteristics of a strong letter of recommendation. Not all LORs are created equal. A generic or vague letter can actually harm your application. Let's break down what makes a strong LOR. 3.1 Specificity is key. A good LOR should mention specific examples of your skills and contributions, highlight your ability to communicate, work in teams, and demonstrate clinical reasoning. Example: Mariam effectively managed a complex case involving a patient with diabetes and COPD. She identified an undiagnosed infection and initiated treatment promptly. Her clinical reasoning was excellent, and she showed strong communication with the nursing staff. Personalization and unique insights. The letter should not sound cookie cutter or overly generic. A strong LOR highlights your unique traits: compassion for patients, leadership in rounds, proactivity during clinical care. Example: what sets Mariam apart is her genuine concern for her patients. I saw her spend extra time explaining discharge instructions to a family, ensuring they understood the next steps. Comparisons matter. When possible, attendings can compare you to other students or trainees they've worked with. Phrases like, "She is in the top 10% of students I've mentored in the last 10 years. Her work ethic is on par with our first-year residents." These statements make you stand out. Length and detail. The best LORs are typically 1 to 2 pages long. They provide enough detail to support their claims without being repetitive. How to obtain strong LORs during your US clinical rotations. All right, now that you know what makes a great LOR, let's talk about how to actually get one. This starts with your clinical rotations. Step 1, choose the right type of USCE. Not all USCE opportunities allow for strong LORs. Here's the ideal pathway: externships and clerkships. These hands-on experiences are the best for obtaining strong LORs. Observerships. While less hands-on, you can still earn a strong LOR if you impress the team with your knowledge and eagerness. Research electives. If you work under a physician who supervises both clinical and research activities, you can ask for a blended LOR. Step 2. Build a strong relationship with your attending. This is key. A good LOR comes from an attending who knows you well. You need to be proactive, volunteer for cases, ask questions, and seek feedback. Be consistent. Show up early, stay late, and consistently do good work. Be visible. Make sure your attending sees your effort and contributions. Step 3, communicate your goals early. Let your attending know upfront that you're hoping to secure a strong LOR. For example, Dr. Smith, I'm applying for internal medicine residency, and this rotation is important for my application. If you feel comfortable at the end, I'd be honored to have you write me a letter of recommendation. This sets expectations and shows that you take their feedback seriously. Step 4, request feedback. During the rotation, halfway through the rotation, approach your attending and ask for feedback. This can look like, Dr. Smith, I'd love to hear how I'm doing so far. Is there anything I can improve on or focus more on during the remainder of the rotation? Not only does this show initiative, but it also gives you a chance to improve before the rotation ends. Step 5, ask for the LOR at the right time. Timing is everything. Ask for the LOR toward the end of your rotation, ideally during a positive moment, like after a successful case or presentation. Here's an example of how you might ask. Dr. Smith, I've learned so much during this rotation, and I truly value your mentorship. I plan to apply for internal medicine residency this year. If you feel I performed well, I would be grateful if you could write me a strong letter of recommendation. Notice the phrasing. If you feel I performed well gives the attending an easy way to decline if they don't feel comfortable. Tips for ensuring a strong LOR. Offer your CV, personal statement, and any details about your residency goals. This helps the attending write a more personalized letter. Always thank your attending, regardless of their decision. A handwritten thank you note can go a long way. Real life example. How an attending helped me match. I once spoke to a graduate from Egypt who did a month-long externship in internal medicine. During the rotation, she consistently impressed her attending physician by taking initiative on complicated cases, presenting cases clearly and confidently during rounds, following up on feedback. When she asked for a letter of recommendation, the attending not only agreed but also wrote, I would be thrilled to have her as part of my residency team. She demonstrates all the qualities we look for in successful trainees. That strong, personalized endorsement helped her match into her dream program. 2. What to do during your U.S. clinical rotations to secure a strong LOR. Securing a strong letter of recommendation isn't just about showing up. It's about making an impression that lasts. Here's how you can position yourself for success. Build relationships early from day one. Make an effort to connect with the attending physician. Be approachable, enthusiastic, and respectful. Remember, relationships take time, so focus on showing consistent dedication and hard work. Tip: after morning rounds, ask questions like, Dr. X, do you recommend any resources for understanding today's cases better? This shows initiative and curiosity. Communicate your goals. Let your attending know that you're applying for residency and would greatly value their feedback and mentorship. If appropriate, express your interest in obtaining a letter of recommendation. Be polite and professional. Example, Dr. Yang, I've really appreciated learning under your guidance. I'm applying for an internal medicine residency this year, and I would be honored if you could write me a strong letter of recommendation based on my performance. Demonstrate your skills. Actively participate during the rotation, present cases clearly, offer thoughtful differentials, and ask insightful questions. If you're allowed to assist with procedures or documentation, ensure accuracy and diligence. The more hands-on you are, the more an attending will have to write about you. Provide supporting materials. Make it easier for your attending to write the LOR by providing them with a short packet that includes your updated CV, a brief summary of your goals, e.g. specialty and residency plans, a highlight of specific cases or contributions you've made during the rotation. Follow up graciously. Once your rotation ends, follow up with a thank you email. If the attending agreed to write a letter, remind them gently of any deadlines and express your gratitude. Example, Dear Dr. Yang, I wanted to thank you again for the opportunity to learn under your supervision. I truly gained invaluable experience during this rotation. I also appreciate your support in writing a letter for my residency application. Please let me know if you need any additional information from me. Common mistakes to avoid when asking for LORs. Asking too late. Don't wait until the last day of your rotation to request a letter. Start building rapport early so the request feels natural. Requesting a generic LOR. Avoid asking for a letter from someone who hasn't worked closely with you. A generic LOR won't help your application. Not following up. Attending physicians are busy, so polite reminders can keep your LOR on their radar. Assuming they remember everything. Provide key details about your work to help the attending write a stronger, more personalized letter. Post-rotation strategies. Your work doesn't end when the rotation does. Here are the next steps to ensure your USCE translates into a successful residency match. Reflect on your experience. Take notes on what you learned, interesting cases, and feedback from your attending. Identify any skills or knowledge gaps and create a plan to improve. Stay connected. Keep in touch with your attending via email. A quick update about your residency progress or a holiday greeting helps maintain the relationship. Example, Dear Dr. Y, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to update you that I submitted my ERAS application for internal medicine and included your letter of recommendation. Thank you again for your support. Use the experience in your application. Highlight your USCE in your personal statement and interviews. Emphasize specific skills you gained, such as familiarity with the US healthcare system, teamwork, and communication. Example, during my externship at this hospital, I gained hands-on experience managing complex patients while working alongside a multidisciplinary team. This experience strengthened my clinical reasoning and adaptability in a fast-paced environment. U.S. clinical experience is a critical step for IMGs, but it's more than just a checkbox. It's an opportunity to grow, learn, and make lasting impressions. Approach every rotation with enthusiasm, professionalism, and a genuine desire to improve. Remember, every attending you work with is a potential advocate for your future residency match. Your USCE journey might be challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Stay focused, work hard, and you'll be one step closer to achieving your dream of matching into a US residency program.